I talk. Because then I have to collect myself. Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day.
This is a special day because it's about honoring the feminine nature of God. We also call it the divine feminine. And what I know is that we have a prototype for mothers. And the prototype is usually a nurturing female, the matriarch, a woman of wisdom, a woman with an outpouring of love. And I'm about to change that prototype. Because what I want to tell you is that the feminine nature of God, the divine feminine, is genderless. It's all of those things, but it's genderless. The feminine nature of God is that part of all of us that comforts, that loves, that wants to nurture. The feminine nature of God is God incarnate in all of us. So there's a verse in the Bible, Isaiah 66:13. You hear that, Isaiah? Okay. 66:13. As a mother comforts her child, so I will comfort you. That resonated with me because for me, the feminine nature of God did not necessarily show up in my mother, but in my father. And Tony said something this morning that might have touched some of you. I know it touched me. Mother's Day can be a challenge for people who stick with that prototype. It has to be a mother. It has to be the mother that gave birth to you. It has to be the mother that raised you, a female. But if we change the prototype and we recognize that people step up and embody that divine feminine, then it changes the whole meaning. I'm thinking of Jedi right now because there is a divine feminine that stepped up and said, Jedi, I will take care of you. I will take care of you. When I was a child, I liked competing with the boys. And I liked kicking their butts. I liked running faster. I liked riding my bike down hills faster. And I would fall. I'd fall out of trees. I'd skin my knee. And my father was always there to comfort me. When kids said, you're ugly, my dad said, no, you're beautiful. You are my child and you are beautiful. And he was there. When I moved to Washington State, yes, I spent 6 years here. When I came to college here in Washington State, and he suspected that I was having a rough time emotionally, he flew here just to check in. How are you doing? How are you doing? I didn't know that till years later. That's how you do. I just wanted to say hi. And now he calls me because something told me, and you always listen to something, right?
Right.
Something told me to call you. How are you doing? I just had a feeling that I should call you. Now, is that not the feminine nature of God at work?
Yes. Amen.
Doesn't have to be a woman. It doesn't have to be your mother. It can be a grandmother.
Yes.
And aunts. Now that I realize that some of our mothers or the adults in our lives who stepped up and said, I am your feminine nature. I am the divine feminine. Some of them are not here in physical form. I realize that. But they're here. They're here because when they were here in physical form, they gave you something to hang on to.
Yes.
And they continue to guide you. They continue to comfort you. They're here. And I realize that as the person in my life who stepped up and said, I am your divine feminine, I realize that as he nears the end of this existence in physical form, he's still there, and he will be there when he transitions. But guess what? He won't be in male form. He will be spirit. Spirit!
Yes.
Spirit. When you think of those loved ones that we've lost that stepped up, whether it was an aunt or a grandmother, an uncle, whatever, and they've passed on, don't you still feel them?
Yes.
You feel them. And they guide you. Sometimes when you're going through a hard time, you just have to sit back and say, now, what did they tell me? What did they tell me? As a mother comforts her child, so I will comfort you. Always.
Yes.
Always. Just sit with that for a second. Let's talk about the mothers that have given us everything that they could, but we felt it wasn't enough.
All right.
We felt it wasn't enough. They pushed our buttons, but guess what? They didn't install those buttons. They didn't keep those buttons there. At some point, we grew to an age where we were responsible for our buttons and the installation of those buttons, right?
Yes.
But let's talk about those mothers. Not all women can agree to be that divine feminine. Not all women can. Not all people can.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Yes.
And there is the belief in our existence that if you are a woman, then there are certain things that you are expected to do. We grow up thinking, we have children, we become mothers, so we do it. Right? We're programmed to do that. And then something says, well, you know, something deep down inside, I don't know that this was part of my path. But I will give what I have to give. I will give what I can. And so for those mothers who weren't there, or who didn't fit that prototype, or who just weren't that divine feminine, did not represent the feminine nature of God to their children, or to the people that they were charged to care for, they did their best.
Yes.
They gave what they had.
Right.
Let me give you an example. We are so quick to criticize the mothers that would have the audacity to use drugs and leave their kids. And I find myself often having to tell people, wait, she left those kids in the care of people for a reason.
Yeah.
That might have been the ultimate loving gesture for this mother. I can't care for you, but guess what? I know that this person can. I'll tell you a true story. This happened to me. Mother with 4 children. 2 of them she had with her. I said, listen, let's get you settled in a shelter. And let's make sure you and the kids are taken care of. Meet me at this location, we'll take care of you. I have a shelter that's willing to accept you. Okay? She showed up with 2 of the kids. 1 child was with a family already. She gave me the kids and she ran down the street. Kids were screaming. What are those kids going to remember? trauma. My mom wasn't there. My mom dumped me.
Right.
What do I know is the truth? She couldn't take care of them. And
Right.
she said, I know you can. I know you can. As she was running down the street, she was sobbing. She was sobbing. That was her way of saying, I don't want my kids to see me like this. I need to get my life together. I know that you know what to do. She gave her kids what she had. And she did her best. And our best is going to change from day to day. It's going to be very, very different.
Yes, it does.
When we step up as the divine feminine, saying, I'm taking that role on, we do our best. We do our best, don't we?
That's right.
And when you have 1, 2, 3, and they're all boys,
Oh, boys.
and is the one that you're carrying a boy as well? Oh my goodness.
That's what I said.
You stepped up.
Yes.
And you can only do your best. You can only do your best. And guess what? Your best is perfect.
Yes, it is.
Because the divine feminine has said, you are perfect. You are perfect, you are perfect, you are perfect. And yes, the mother that ran down the street sobbing is perfect. We hold that truth for them when they can't. You are
Yes.
perfect. Because you are God incarnate. And guess who's comforting that person who just doesn't feel perfect? As a mother comforts her child, so I will comfort you. Something, someone, some entity is holding the truth when we cannot.
Yes.
That's right.
And so we need to really kind of let up on those mothers who are doing their best, even if the best looks horrible to us. Even if the best looks horrible to us, they're doing their best. They're doing their best. Someone needed to hear this.
Yes.
A few someones. I needed to hear it for myself. Because as Alan said, the message is coming through me. I'm just a messenger. I'm just a messenger. If it was my message, I'd be here with a piece of paper reading to you.
Yes.
I'm a mother, and I'm a mother of a child who has a lot of energy at 14 years old. And when he was that age, Lincoln's age, he was all over the place. All over the place. And sometimes people judge me because I just let him run. You know, run in public, run in the park. Here, you go, run in the park, do some laps, get the energy out, and the energy never went away. It never went away. And at 14 years old, it's still there. And I say to myself, my God, I'm in charge of this. I have stepped up as a divine feminine. Now, what did I ask? Sometimes I do ask, what did I ask for? What did I agree to? But I am so proud. I am so proud to say, yes, my child is active. And that's a gift. Because guess what? Those active boys, those are the explorers. We need them.
Why do you need them?
Come here, I'll tell you why we need them. Come here, I'll tell you why. Okay. Okay. What if we didn't have explorers? You know what an explorer is?
No.
Those are people who go out and find things, right? They may find earthworms.
Remember, I was finding crabs and I put them in and I put water inside a bottle. Well, my mommy says I can't collect them. If the water just stays still, the crabs will die.
Yeah, but guess what?
Sometimes big crabs don't die if they have too much water.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes crabs have, if some crabs have too much water inside, they die. Right, Uncle Ben?
That is correct.
This is Javier. This is my child. Well, guess what I learned? See, I spent a lot of time at the Monterey Bay Aquarium with my child, right?
What kind of child do you have?
A big one. He's bigger than me now.
Oh, yeah.
But we spend a lot of time. He used to be really inquisitive, just like you. Spend a lot of time at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and you know what they do? These are what explorers do. People that ask a lot of questions like you and have a lot of energy.
Well, did you know how many crabs I just collect?
A lot.
I collect 393.
Ooh, and you know what the scientists do?
What?
They collect crabs and they study them. And they have found a way to keep them safe.
Where? On the water?
Yeah,
Oh.
somewhere.
I went on the water.
Yeah?
I went on a boat in the water
Okay.
with my cousins.
Isaiah, this is what I want you to do.
But
I want you to look at the group here.
where's the group?
This group. People.
The people.
Okay? And I want you to tell them what you love about the adults in your life, like your mommy and your daddy.
Yeah. Do you know how to...
What did I say? Look at mom. Okay, I want you to talk to mom. What do you like about mom? Say, Mom, this is what I like about you.
What is this about you?
Mom, why is this about you? Okay, go on. Let me tell you, one reason I brought him up is because in any community, the children are very important.
Yes.
And they need to be able to observe us. They need to be able to learn from us. And we cannot get into the habit of silencing them. That's how they learn. Okay, so as a community, you all are the divine feminine. You're the feminine nature of God that has stepped up for these young people in your community, and you have said, we are your village. We are your guides. We are assigned to your care. We nurture you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we thank God for you. Imagine if we had heard that every day growing up. Imagine if we had heard that every day growing up. Then we would instinctively know, understand, and recognize the divine feminine.
Yes.
We wouldn't have a Mother's Day per se or a Father's Day per se.
Yes.
We would have a day that recognizes the feminine nature of God. The nurturing presence of God. We wouldn't have to be sad on Mother's Day for those of us who have either lost our mothers in physical form, or for those of us who just didn't have the mother that fit that prototype that we have in place. We would have a day designated for the feminine nature of God. Yes. That has no gender. No gender. No gender. Take that in. Take that in. I want to just open this up to you all for just a brief period of time and see if there's anyone who would like to contribute. Anyone who would like to contribute anything. And that's fine too. That's fine too. Yes.
I just wanted to say I loved your sermon today. It is such a blessing to be here today to listen to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes.
Yes, speaking of mothers, my mother left when I was pregnant with my first child. And because I had the understanding, and she told me when she left that she wasn't dead, I pretty much just think of her with love and not a lot of grief or go back to the cemetery and those kinds of things. And now since I have been talking a lot about grief and listening to people talk about grief, and the other night a picture sitting there has always been there, and I passed by it as I do often, and all of a sudden it was like she said, hey, or hello, or got my attention. And it was pretty emotional. It was quite emotional, which I had not done that in I don't know when. But then some things came up for me, and I have a new understanding about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a wonderful awareness.
Well, you know, thank you for mentioning that, because what the Divine Feminine wants us to do is be in touch with love. Because it's when we're grounded in that place of love that our hearts are open to understanding what we didn't understand before, open to embracing a person who may not have been there in the way that we wanted them to be there. So it's really important to let go of resentments, to let go of thinking that that person just didn't love me. You love yourself, and your heart will open, and you will be loving to others.